All right, friends, I'm glad you joined me for another story with Mrs. Hoagland. What we're going to work on today is we are going to work on vowel teams in two-syllable story, in this two-syllable story. All right, there's several different things that I like to say that we do when we're looking at vowel teams. Now, we will see two vowels together a lot. The generalization to say two vowels go walking, the first one does the talking. That is a generalization. It's not always true, but it is a possibility. So that is something that we look at first. That is probably the most probable that we'll see. Then, so two vowels go walking, the first one does the talking. Or vowel chunks, okay, those are like O-Y, O-U, O-O. Those are two vowels put together that make a completely brand new sound. And then the other thing that we try, if this one doesn't work, vowel teams doesn't work, vowel chunks doesn't work, then we split the vowel, okay? An example of that would be like in the word lion, okay? We have an I-O. Well, I know that I-O is not a chunk. I do know that O-I is a chunk, but this is not O-I, it's I-O. So I'm going to go ahead and split this one right in the middle. That makes that I a long vowel sound because it's an open syllable. And that syllable says lie. And then that part of the syllable says on. Lion. Okay, it says more schwa sound with the instead of the O sound. All right, the story that we're going to move on to today is called Cocoon on Display. And we, again, are going to be looking for vowel teams and vowel chunks, all right, to make new sounds. There's different ways that we do that. All right, so let's look at the very first word that we have. And the very first word, actually, if you want to pause the video so you can write these words down, and maybe you can go ahead and see if you can find all the vowel chunks or combinations that make new sounds, and then we can get back together and then you can see if you got them right or not. All right, so if you want to pause, you can go ahead and pause now. Otherwise, I'm glad you're back. All right, if you decided to join back, all right, I'm going to look at the title of our story. And this is actually an A, not an O. Right here, I have the O-O. And I know that O-O says oo or So this word is either going to be ka. This is saying a schwa sound, which is the U sound. Ka, k, un, or k, coon. The oo works. Okay, so you need to know that double O has two different sounds. It either is going to say oo or it's going to say You just have to be flexible with it. On, and then I know that A-Y is a chunk that says A. So this word is display, display. And then double E says what? Long E. Okay, so we did cocoon already up here. And like I said, this it's saying the schwa sound, which is a short U. And then we know that O-O says oo, cocoon. On this one, we got a vowel right here. And then we have an A-I. I know that's a chunk. And it's going to say A. Here I have vowel, consonant, 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 vowel. I know that P-L is a blend. So I'm going to say complain. Complain. All right, let's see if you can mark how you mark the next word. All right, I see a vowel, and then I see two vowels beside each other, and we talked about the A-Y already up here. It says what? Long A. So now I have to decide where I want to split this word. I can split it in two different places. Well, I can split it in several places, but this is the place. I can either split it right here, and that would make this a long E because it's an open syllable. Then that would be D, K. Or I can split it right here, and it'd be deck, A. Decay, or decay. It is actually decay. When something rots or decomposes, it decays. All right, the next word, I have a vowel, and then I have two vowels beside each other. I know that AY is a chunk, and it says A. Again, I have vowel, consonant, 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 vowel. I know that PL is a blend. Display, display. If you put something up on display, you want people to see it. All right, I have a vowel, consonant, consonant, and then I have two vowels beside each other. I know that AY says long A. So now I said vowel, consonant, consonant, vowel, so I know I'm going to split it in between the consonants. So this becomes essay, essay. Have you ever had to write an essay before? An essay is a long story. All right, here we go. Next word. I have a vowel, consonant, consonant, the blend. Then I have the AI. Remember, the AI is just like the AY. It says together to say the A. PL is a blend, so I'm going to split it right here. This becomes short. Explain, explain. All right. Next word, I see a vowel. And then I see a vowel, but I see a chunk right here. I know that OW is either going to say ow or it's going to say long O. Well, I see vowel, consonant, consonant, vowel, so I know I can split this right here. And that's going to be fell. Is this fell low or fellow? It is fellow. Fellow. A fellow, he was a nice fellow. He was a nice guy. All right, here we go. Next word, we got an AY. We know that AY says A. And then I have an open syllable right here because this syllable ends in an E. It's going to say its name. So this word is may be, and this is a compound word, two words together. That's why I split it right there. The next word, I have a vowel, consonant, consonant, then a vowel, two vowels together. We know that double E says what? E. So we got indeed. Indeed, I do. That indeed just means yes. Another way to say yes. Okay, the next word, I have a vowel, and then I have two vowels together. I know that EA says E, as long as there's not a D after it. Then it's either going to be reveal or it's going to be reveal. And it is going to be reveal. This E is going to be long because it's an open syllable. Ooh, I see lots of letters in this word. I see a vowel and I see a double O. Double O is either going to say or it's going to say oo. I say ook or ook. Book or book. Book. Text. Text. Book. A textbook might be a reading book, or your math book would be a textbook, an anthology. Okay, here we go. I have a vowel. Vowel. I know that OI says oi. Oi, like ships ahoy. And then I have ing as well. So I have pointing. Pointing. Have you ever pointed at something before? Okay. The next word, I see IGH, and I know that IGH is a chunk that says long I. So now I have to do a sound it out, right. Then this one right here, I see OW. Remember, it's either going to say ow or o. So grr ow or grr o. Grow, you got it. Next word, I got double E. Double E says E, you got it. Ease, trees. And our last word that we have here is we got AI, and we've talked about AI already. AI says A. This word is wait. Wait. I hope you'll wait for me. All right? Are you ready to read your story? Here we go. We're going to go over one more time. We have cocoon, complain, decay, display, essay, explain, fellow, maybe, indeed, reveal, textbook, pointing, write, grow, trees, and wait. Good job, friends. All right, now I'm going to pull out our story, and our story for this one is going to be Cocoon on Display. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and go through the story and look for words that we've already talked about. So we've talked about cocoon, display, talked about fellow, cocoon. We did not talk about, but you should know the word about. The OU says ow. Display. We got an OU right here in hour. We got the OO in room. Explain. Cocoon, display, cocoon, this hour, okay, complain, pointing out, our cocoon, hour, decay, soon, right. Read. We didn't talk about it, but we should know that one. Read. Textbook. 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 Cocoon. Oh, we didn't talk about this one. Ooh. New. EW says ooh. And when we could find a new cocoon. Cocoons don't grow on trees. Cocoons indeed show up on twigs in the spring. So maybe they, EY says A, seem like they grow on trees. Our textbook could reveal a lot about a cocoon to us. We now had to plan to find a new cocoon for our class display, but we would have to wait for spring. All right, friends, here we go. Ready? We are going to attempt to read this story. Our goal is to make sure that you know all the words. The words that we highlighted are words that you might not have known that we wanted to point out in this story. All the rest of the words in this story are sight words, so there's a lot of words that you already know on this page. The first time might be kind of rough because our goal is to get through it. Second time we'll work through the sentences, and third time we'll read the whole thing, attacking all the way through. Cocoon on display. A fellow in my class was most upset about the cocoon display in our room. I tried to explain that it is hard to find a cocoon, so we would have to use the one we had on display for our cocoon work. He went on to complain even more. He kept pointing out that our cocoon was in a state of decay, and we would have to find a new one soon. He was right. So we read in our textbook to find out where we could find a new cocoon and when we could find a new cocoon. Cocoons don't grow on trees. Well, cocoons do indeed show up on twigs in the spring, so maybe they do seem like they grow on trees. Our textbook could reveal a lot about a cocoon to us. We now had a plan to find a new cocoon for our class display, but we would have to wait for spring. All right, I know that sounded mechanical, and hopefully that's not what you sounded like, but if it is, that's okay, because we're going to practice our fluency here, okay? So our goal is to attack to the period. That's going to be our goal on this read. Our goal is to have one straight line all the way to the period. All right, so that's going to be our goal. I'm going through and circling all the periods so we know how far we need to read for the next time. I think that's a period in that one. All right, here we go. So I'm going to underline the sentence. My goal, read to the period. This doesn't have a period, but it's the title, so I always want to say it. Cocoon on display. A fellow in my class was most upset about the cocoon display in our room. Notice how I went from here to here. You've got to sweep quickly to get over here so you can finish that thought. I didn't rush. It's not a fellow in my class was most upset about the cocoon display in our room. That's very monotone. It's like a robot. No robots allowed, kiddo. Here we go. So, a fellow in my class was most upset about the cocoon display in our room. Ready? Here we go. I tried to explain that it is hard to find a cocoon, so we would have to use the one we had on display for our cocoon work. That was a long sentence. All right, you might have to have breathed there. This is a good spot to breathe. Okay, it doesn't mean you take a long, exaggerated breath. It's just a good spot to have a short pause. All right, here we go. We're going to keep moving. Just a short sentence here. He went on to complain even more. I bet you've never known anyone like that. Oh, I see this one's a long one all the way down to right here, but I do have a comma there. He kept pointing out that our cocoon was in a state of decay, and we would have to find a new one soon. He was right. So, we read in our textbook to find out where we could find a new cocoon and when we could find a new cocoon. Cocoons don't grow on trees. Well, cocoons do indeed show up on twigs in the spring, so maybe they do seem like they grow on trees. Our textbook could reveal a lot about a cocoon to us. We now had a plan to find a new cocoon for our class display, but we would have to wait for spring. All right. Now, hopefully you can keep up with me. If not, you can pause and then you can practice it some for yourself. The more you read it, the quicker you'll get, or the more fluent you'll get. The goal is not to read it fast. You want to be able to understand what you're reading, okay? This time, I'm going to attack each sentence. So my goal is to get to the period and attack the next sentence, all right? So here we go. How about this? I'm going to put a little red dot for attack, okay? Orange. Cocoon on display. A fellow in my class was most upset about the cocoon display in our room. I tried to explain that it is hard to find a cocoon, so we would have to use the one we had on display for our cocoon work. He went on to complain even more. He kept pointing out that our cocoon was in a state of decay, and we would have to find a new one soon. He was right. Soon we read in our textbook to find out where we could find a new cocoon and when we could find a new cocoon. Cocoons don't grow on trees. Well, cocoons do indeed show up on twigs in the spring, so maybe they do seem like they grow on trees. Our textbook could reveal a lot about a cocoon to us. we now had a plan to find a new cocoon for our class display, but we would have to wait for spring. All right, friends, I hope you enjoyed this lesson. I hope you learned a lot or reaffirmed what you already knew. Keep reading this summer. Practice, practice, practice. It's just like sports. The only way you get better is you need to practice. All right, love you lots. Hope you enjoyed the video.